Heart fam, hello, how are you? I pray that you are thriving in the things of Christ, living God's best life for you. And I'm hopping on really quick for just a debrief, if you will, just to discuss that amazing chat we had last Saturday, the great pursuit, to pursue or not to pursue. That was our question. Just wanted to hop on really quick, just to share some takeaways from last Saturday's chat. Let me tell you, big kudos to all of the ladies who participated in last week's chat. You all did an amazing job. And, I was so honored that you all participated in this chat. First Chatterbox of 2022. And let me tell you all, we are doing a part 2 of The Great Pursuit, because even after getting off the phone, we continued sharing other topics, other issues that stemmed from Saturday's chat. So stay tuned. Part 2 of The Great Pursuit is coming, so be on the lookout for the details of part 2. But I wanted to hop on just to, like I said, to share some takeaways from last Saturday's chat. So I'm just gonna run down a list. I wrote down like key points, and I'm going down the list. And after writing down the takeaways, like the key points that it seemed like everybody ultimately, after responding to the questions, the general consensus was all in the direction of, when it comes to pursuing, the man is the pursuer. That was, from the takeaway, that was the general consensus of all of the participants of the chat. And we discussed, when I categorized it, we all discussed 4 different categories. And it was order, boundaries, what I call Miss Independent, and being secure. So here are the takeaways. We're going to start with order. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. 3 key words. He finds wife. Those were the 3 key words. So fellas, if you're looking for a girlfriend, if you're just looking for a side chick, a boo thing, that's not part of the Great Pursuit. Not at all. The Great Pursuit is he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Takeaway 2. Guys, are you pursuing just for fun, or are you really pursuing for marriage? That was the takeaway. A question, ask yourself. When I go out on dates, when I see a female, why am I pursuing her? Am I pursuing her just to hang out and have fun? Or am I really interested in living God's best life for me? Am I interested in making this woman my wife? What are you pursuing for, fellas? Next takeaway. Men, there are females in this world who want you to pursue them. And from what I remember, the word was pursue vigorously. So there are females in this world who want you to pursue them, who want you to take the lead in the position that God created you to be. We understand that you're the king. God has made you the head of the household. You have women out here who understand that. So we're just waiting for you to take your lead. Take your place. Next takeaway. When you do things in God's order and not the way the world says that it should go, you get the results that you're looking for. You get that love story. You get that happily ever after. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be issues, because in marriage there are issues. But ultimately, you get that one that was created for you. That's what you get. Next takeaway. God puts order in place to shield you from the consequences that we would open ourselves to if we don't follow his order. That was a deep one. His order safeguards our emotions, our minds, and our perspectives. Wow. Next takeaway. When a female pursues, it puts her in a position to question things, which from a biblical standpoint clarifies why the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Females, you put yourself in that position of pursuing, and we start questioning. Does he like me? Why hadn't he called me? Order. Pursuing a man can give you an unwanted response from a man. They can take it as you want to sleep with them. That may not even be your intent. You're just, you're really fond of him, and maybe you are pursuing him. You're not pursuing him with the intent of sleeping with him, but when we push and we force ourselves, it can't come off. It can't come across that way to the male. And then what do you get? A man who's thirsty and just ready to do whatever. So, order. Next takeaway. When a woman pursues, she puts herself in the driver's seat instead of letting God drive. So important. When we take the lead and we go off on our own cahoots and what we think, a lot of times, well, I'm not going to say a lot of times, if God is not included in the process, it just null and void. It's no need to do it because you end up back to square one. Put him in the process, let him drive, and you sit in that passenger seat and you ride right along with him. Next takeaway about order. A woman should not be focused on chasing, but her mind should be focused on what God has called her to do. As the woman seeks God and walks in her purpose, she'll be found. Prime examples that we gave in the chat: Ruth and Boaz, Esther and Xerxes, Rebecca and Isaac, Gomer and Hosea. All of those women were found by their husbands. They weren't chasing. They were doing their thing, not even thinking about what was going on with the husbands. And they were found. Let's hop over to boundaries next. So boundaries. Women, create boundaries and don't automatically assume that he's flirting and that his flirting is the act of pursuing you. You get different actions from flirting versus pursuit. And this is from a male perspective. You get different actions from flirting versus pursuit. If you don't get a call or anything, it's just flirting. It's not pursuing you. No matter how googly-eyed and no matter how warm inside you feel when he's looking at you and you all are making eyes back and forth, if he's not calling you or going past that, take it for what it is. It's flirting. If he is not up for the chase, what is there left to do? That was a really good one too. If he is not up for the chase, what is there left to do? Next takeaway. If he tells you that he does not want to be in a relationship, take your emotions out of it and take it for what it is. Listen to what he says. If he's telling you he's not ready for a relationship, take it for what it is. He's telling you that for a reason. Whether or not it's because he seriously means he doesn't want to be in a relationship or not ready, or maybe he just don't want to be in one with you. Either way, take your emotions out of it and take what he says for face value. If he is not pursuing you for anything else other than friendship, put him in the friendship zone. Friend zone him. If you know that all he is looking at you as is just a friend, friend zone. Next takeaway. Time is valuable when it comes to investing time into someone who only wants to be in the friend zone. Let me read it again. Time is valuable when it comes to investing time into someone who only wants to be in the friend zone. You don't get that time back. Do you want to spend time investing into someone or relationship that's only going to leave you in the friend zone? Do you want to do that? There's some who do. There's some who are okay with being friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. That just depends on the individual. But then there are some that are like, you know what? I'm not wasting time. And it's not that you're rushing anything or being persistent. It's just that you're at a stage, you know what you want. So it's kind of like, I'm not wasting time with friends. I have plenty of friends. Not saying that you can't be friends with that person, but you understand the boundaries that you set with that person when they're in the friend zone, or they've told you all I want is friendship. Last takeaway on boundaries. If a woman wants a man so bad that she has to step outside of what she is called to be, she does not need to be with that man, and he doesn't need to be with the woman. Neither one of them need to be together. They are not good for each other. Boundaries. Don't let anybody change who you are. If somebody is trying to make you step outside of what you're called to be, you don't need them and they don't need you. Not a good fit. Now we're jumping to Miss Independent. This is the one. One takeaway. Some say if you want it, go get it. That is true when it comes to your job, your purpose, your wealth, and your legacy. I love that. I love it. Next takeaway, Miss Independent. God created a man to carry the burden of the family, and the wife to nurture and help to carry the family in love. Not to wear the pants. That's not our role. That is not what God created us to be. That's just not how he created us. He created us to be nurturers. All right. Last category, being secure. A man has to have confidence. That's number one when it comes to pursuing a woman. A man has to have confidence. He has to have dedication to the pursuit, and he must be an effective communicator. Communication is so important. That is so extremely important in relationships. Next takeaway. Men, be honest and specific from day one. That will alleviate, aside from order and doing things God's way, being honest and specific from day one will alleviate a whole lot of drama. If you're upfront and honest from day one with what your intentions are, what you want, that will give the woman a chance to decide, okay, is this something that I want to deal with, or is this something that is just not a good fit for me? Men, be open and honest from day one. No matter how difficult the conversation is, or no matter how difficult it may be. Maybe you don't want to really tell her how you feel because maybe you care about her, but you don't want to hurt her. But the thing is, when you're not honest, you're actually doing more damage. So it's not what you say. Takeaway. It's not what you say, but how you say it. And honestly, you get more respect for that than trying to hold on to somebody's feelings, and then down the road, a year or two later, you come out and say, oh, well, I've looked at you as a friend all this time. Not cool. Be honest and specific from day one. And the last takeaway when it comes to being secure, we're talking about competition. Competition comes from a place of insecurity. Insecurities fall off when you understand what God has for you to do. I'm going to read that again. Insecurities fall off when you understand what God has for you. Not your friend. Not the girl that you know down the street. What God has for you to do. In God, you have security because you start seeing yourself. You start seeing yourself the way He sees you. And once you do, there is no competition because each of us are made differently. So you get to that point, there is no comparison. This is me, you are you. Each of us have our own set of qualities, skill sets that God has put inside of us. We're individuals. You all, the chat was amazing Saturday, and I'm still taken by our discussion. Aside from a little technical difficulties and delays, the chat, it was an amazing chat. And like I said, we have decided we're going to do a part 2. So please be on the lookout for the details of the Great Pursuit Part 2, because we are going to dive even deeper into more fundamental and foundational aspects of dating, pursuit, and questioning, are you ready? Are you really ready to pursue? So be on the lookout for the details of Part 2, The Great Pursuit, to pursue or not to pursue. That's our question. Heart fam, I love you. And until next video, be blessed.